Hey guys, Jay here, and this is my review of the MacBook Pro with 13-inch Retina display. Apple released this last October, and just like the iPhone, the iPad, and the bigger 15-inch MacBook before it, it also received the Retina treatment. We're gonna check out what all the fuss is about with the display, but let's first take a look at the form factor. The now widely copied unibody enclosure is used, with aluminum as the material of choice. We have a full-size keyboard that honestly more closely resembles the ones found in the MacBook Air rather than those in the MacBook Pro, in terms of key travel and feel. The highly praised glass trackpad returns, and multi-touch gestures on it are simply a joy. Now for the differences. The Retina comes in at 3/4 of an inch thick and at just 3.57 pounds. That's 20% thinner and almost a pound lighter than the classic MacBook. It's a very noticeable change that is instantly felt. The Ethernet and Firewire ports and the optical drive is done away with. Instead, another Thunderbolt port is added, while two USB 3.0 ports, an HDMI port, an SD card slot, and a headphone jack round up the rest of the ports. The bezel around the display is thinner, and the MacBook Pro insignia under the screen has been removed. The Retina Pro actually has a much smaller footprint than the classic MacBook and even the MacBook Air, which makes everything that much more tighter and compact. One of the consequences of that is a new T-shaped MagSafe 2 adapter. To manage internal heat, there are now air intakes at the sides that lead to the vent below the display, though in my use, it doesn't seem to add much in the way of cooling the notebook itself. The Retina Pro comes with a 128 or 256GB solid-state drive by default. SSDs are like normal hard drives but are faster and more durable as there are no spinning parts. You notice the difference this makes as soon as you boot up the computer. In my tests, the Retina Pro booted up 2 times faster than the old Pro. Getting from power off to the desktop takes only about 25 seconds. The speed advantage is noticed everywhere else, from opening apps to moving files, but it is somewhat muted by the heavy requirements demanded by the Retina display. Fortunately, the display itself is gorgeous. It has a 2560 by 1600 panel, but the best for Retina display setting gives you only a screen real estate of 1280 by 800. That means there are 4 pixels rendering a single screen element, which makes everything so much sharper. Apple includes options for higher resolutions, calling it more space. Let's try going one notch higher to a display that looks 1400 by 900. Now this is similar to the resolution found in the MacBook Air and in other 13-inch laptops, and though I still mostly use the recommended resolution, I do shuttle back and forth from that to this if I need more space. On the other hand, most users probably will not bother with the looks like 1680 by 1050 option. Screen elements are simply too small. And because there is no dedicated graphics chip, there's a noticeable lag when moving into the higher resolutions. This gets worse as apps get heavier and more memory intensive. Quite frankly, the Retina display already pushes the integrated Intel HD 4000 chip to its limits. Aside from being a Retina display, Apple has also employed a few nifty techniques to increase viewing angles and reduce screen glare. Colors, though vivid, are a tad too dark. Nevertheless, photographers will love looking at photos that are rendered so beautifully. Heavy apps like Photoshop launch slightly quicker with the Retina Pro because of the Intel i5 or i7 processor, the 8GB RAM, and the SSD working together. In my experience, Photoshop takes only about 4 seconds to fully launch. What will be frustrating is that many apps and websites still do not support the Retina display. The previous version of Photoshop, CS5, has menu bars that are jaggy and icons that are blurry. It's a pain in the eye. Also, because of the demands of the Retina display, there are some scrolling issues experienced when using sites that tend to cram a lot of text and image into one page. On a classic MacBook Pro, here's what scrolling through your Facebook newsfeed looks like. Smooth and elegant. On the other hand, scrolling in the Retina MacBook Pro is a jittery experience. It's not a deal breaker, but it's still something Apple should have done something about. Aside from those issues, the Retina Pro is an otherwise superb machine. The battery life is excellent. lasting about 6.5 hours before you need to plug it in. As we'd expect from Apple, the hardware is integrated tightly with the OS. Mac OS X Lion and Mountain Lion are perfectly suited for the Retina environment, and it still would be the main reason you'd want to buy a Mac in the first place. And of course, the Retina display itself is already an otherworldly experience. This can be both a blessing and a curse, as looking at any other screen afterwards is simply regrettable. Stereo speakers are also a welcome addition. They are sufficiently loud with virtually no distortion. This makes listening to media and playing games more worthwhile. In summary, the MacBook Pro 13-inch with Retina display is a great addition to the MacBook lineup. It is thin, light, fast, and has the second best display among all laptops in the market. But that form factor and display has come with a price. The storage capacity may be too small for users who like keeping around large files, and the lack of a dedicated graphics chip may turn power users and gamers away. The question now therefore is, does all this justify the $1,700 price tag for the base version? The answer to that question ultimately lies with you. It may be worth noting that a similarly spec'd non-Retina MacBook Pro only costs $200 less. On the flip side, Apple may also release this same laptop 6 months from now, but with a higher storage capacity, next-generation Intel Haswell processors, and a dedicated graphics chip. Till then, the Retina MacBook Pro is the best 13-inch laptop you can buy right now. That wraps it up, guys. Thank you for watching.